Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and I'm so happy to see you all here for part 2. We covered part 1, which was the Shasta Groene case about 2 days ago. I hope that you saw that, but if you didn't, don't worry, don't leave now. You can catch up on that afterwards if you did miss it. It is kind of following up from that. That was an abduction story involving a serial killer. And so today we're going to look at the serial killer, which is something that you guys voted for. Okay, making some dinner. Very nice. Rochelle, Pranzo, nice to see you guys. Hello to Chris from the Monsters Under Our Bed. If you missed yesterday's episode where I collaborated with Chris from the Monsters Under Our Bed on the Delphi case, please check that out. Yes, Jane, we've had that intro for a short while, but yeah, it's when we do some deep dives. Yes, okay. You don't know why YouTube always shows you Manscaped commercials? Also, if you are a replay watcher, thank you so much for watching this as well. Replay watchers are very, very important too. So welcome to all my mods, to my YouTube members, of which thank you again, Copper Horse. I think I got like 14 new members yesterday. Damn. Thank you to my mods, members, patrons. Patrons know that there's going to be some very exciting footage that I'll share with you by the end of the weekend sometime, because tomorrow I'm going out and about. I've asked you guys where you want me to go, and I will be filming all that stuff for you. Okay, so are we ready to look at Joseph Edward Duncan III? This reminded me of the days when I used to write these books about serial killers, except this really was nicer. You know why? Because you look at it for a few days versus sitting in it. You sit in their minds for months. It's not so healthy. It's not so good for mental health. So this is actually great. That's why I started a YouTube channel instead of continue on that path of writing those books. So thank you so much for being here. Bertel Hobo, thank you. Hello to you. I really appreciate you being here as well. That's so cool. We are your top 2 channels, myself and the Monsters Under Our Bed. That's so cool. Jean, it's so great to have you. Came over from Popcorn Planet, watched several last night. That is so awesome. Oh my word. Okay, so wait, I have to start my little presentation. Of course, it's presentation time. I need a little intro for presentation time, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to add this to the stream. Right, and I've actually, let's see how it works out. I've shifted things. I'm trying something new with my presentations where I shift the writing a little bit more to the right. So let's see if it works out. Here and there, I will put myself on the side again so that you guys can see everything really nicely. Okay. It does help to discuss this stuff. Yes, it does. Okay, so disclaimer, of course, all Grizzly True Crime content is for adults only and may contain themes that some individuals find triggering, offensive, or disturbing. The intent is not to disrespect viewers or any individual spoken about herein. Viewer discretion is advised. Of course, this case could be triggering for several reasons. 1, we're dealing with a serial killer. 2, he harmed a lot of children. So there's that as well. Okay, so we continue on. The bunny's there. We've got the trigger warning emojis as well, so feel free to use it. All right. Cheryl, I'm a true crimer, so it's pretty easy if you're passionate about true crime to find these cases. We love them. But yeah, this case came to my attention because there's a brand new documentary that has just been released where Shasta Groene talks more about her experience. Okay, so Joseph Edward Duncan, he was born on February 25th, 1963, and he died on March 28th, 2021. So he's no longer with us. So we can't even snark it up all that much. Damn it. Yeah, Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs used night vision. Yes, he did. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, it's hard to imagine there are 2 other Josephs. I know, right? Wow. Okay, so he's all of his victims between 1978 and July 2nd, 2005. This is just a summary so you can see what we're dealing with. 5 to 8 of them were murdered. You'll see why they say 5 to 8. Up to 16 were essayed and up to 3 were stalked. His nicknames: Jet, Jazzy Jet, the Boogeyman, and the Night Vision Killer. I think the Night Vision Killer does sound way too cool. I mean, the Boogeyman, Jazzy Jet, oh my word. What do you guys want to call him? That's what I always like to see. Yeah. It puts the lotion in the basket. Yes. Didn't mean to freak you out there by doing that voice, guys. You're like, what the heck is that? All right. Okay. So, right. We continue on. Are we ready? Keep it rolling. And I hope you enjoy my presentations, which I work very hard to do for you. Right. You see, I got, okay. So I'm over my logo, but it's cool that the writing is, I've tried to space it so that I can be here in the corner talking with you guys. Known victims are, and I don't know exactly how to say this girl's name, but Samio White, she was 11. Carmen Cubias, her half-sister, 9. So those are the two girls pictured on the right-hand side of this writing at the top. Then Anthony Michael Martinez, he was 10. And we're going to get into all this, so of course, again, be warned. And then Slade Groene, 13. Dylan Groene, 9. Brenda Groene, 40. And Mark McKenzie, 37. So we looked at the Groenies as well as Mark McKenzie, their stepdad, in part 1. So I hope you will check it out if you haven't yet. Jazzy Jet is not a very intimidating name, right? That was his nickname for himself, was Jet or Jazzy Jet, which is like, oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so let's continue on. Now, modus operandi. Joseph Duncan was a stalker. I'm not going to say these entire words, but a pedo and a ephebo. The ephebo one is when you're into people that have gone through puberty but are not yet adults. Okay. A serial essayist, an arsonist. I couldn't find too much on when he actually committed this arson, but he was apparently known as an arsonist as well, an abductor, a serial killer, and then a family annihilator. He threatened his victims at knife or gunpoint, and his crimes were extremely violent and sexually motivated. He bludgeoned Samio and Carmen to death. He bludgeoned Anthony Martinez to death with a rock. Again, this is as tame as I could put it, guys. He bludgeoned Brenda Groene, Mike McKenzie, and Slade Groene to death with a Fat Max claw hammer. So total 6 victims were bludgeoned to death. That was his MO before he abducted Shasta and Dylan. So I find it interesting that once he abducted them, he sort of changed his MO a bit, you know? He hung Dylan Groene to the point of unconsciousness before reviving him, eventually shooting him at point-blank range. Oh, man, that reminds me of John Wayne Gacy, isn't it? Gosh. If you don't know about John Wayne Gacy, I wrote a book on him. You can get it on Amazon. There's ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks. That case was hectic. Okay, so he intended to strangle Shasta Groene. And in part 1, we went over why or how she survived him. All right. Yeah, scary when a killer adapts like this, says McKinnon. Right? It's you can just see there's a specific MO, and there's obviously more crimes that he committed already from when he was 15 years old, which we'll get into now. But it's interesting to see that he pretty much threatened people, essayed them, bludgeoned them, and then suddenly when he abducted Shasta and Dylan, which led to his arrest, his final arrest, shall I say. He's been arrested many times. Then he changed to the strangulation thing, strangulation and shooting, which is interesting. Okay, so Joseph Edward Duncan was born on February 25th, 1963 in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. His father was Joseph Edward Duncan Jr., and his mother was Lillian Mae Duncan. He had 4 siblings, 3 older sisters, and 1 younger brother. His dad was in the army, so the family moved around a lot, including overseas, until he retired and they all settled in Tacoma, Washington. His mother was described as a domineering woman. I wonder what that exactly means, because that's kind of also how he described his mother. I suppose aggressive, controlling, I don't know. But by the way, I just want to add here that he said, Joseph told investigators that she abused him as a child, but his younger brother said, no, she didn't, because he was apparently there. However, I do wonder, I'm not trying to blame the mother or anything, I'm just saying I do wonder, because if sometimes one sibling is spared from the abuse, you know what I mean? So I'm not too sure. Like, for instance, again, John Wayne Gacy, I think of that. His parents got divorced when he was 16 years old. And to me, the more I was deep diving this case, the more that seems to have really been his psychological breaking point, is when his parents got divorced, because he started acting up when he was 15, and very violently as well. And then when he was 16, it's kind of like he went off the rails from there. His 3 older sisters moved out, and Duncan and his brother stayed with their mother. So it's obviously Joseph Duncan and his brother stayed with their mother. So now he had no father around the house. His 3 older sisters moved out, so it's just him and his little brother staying with the mother. Joseph did not graduate from high school. He last attended Lakes High School. So you see what I mean? He just kind of, once they got divorced, done. For him, it was like, you're so angry, at society, at life itself. Yeah. Yes, Bill. Poor guy, mommy issues. Bill, when I was watching, I'm talking to Bill over here. When I was watching the replay of yesterday's episode, oh my word, you made me laugh so much. I'm sorry I missed most of your comments. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. If you guys want to see it, go see it. Okay, so when Joseph was 15 in 1978, he committed his first known crime in Tacoma, Washington. So another pattern I saw, because I put it all on the map, of course, which we'll look at, was every time they moved, like had a drastic move, he seems to have then lashed out a lot. So here, when he was 15, he committed his first known crime in Tacoma, Washington. He essayed a 9-year-old boy at gunpoint. So he's 15, finds a 9-year-old boy, and essays him at gunpoint. That is very hectic for a 15-year-old, right? Gosh. Yeah, I believe there are neurological abnormalities in these cases. Yes, Suzanne. When he was 16, the year his parents got divorced, he was caught driving a stolen car. He was then sent to juvenile detention at a ranch in Tacoma called Dislin's Boys Ranch. He later told a therapist that he himself essayed 6 boys there. So I wrote you, he was a boaster, and that pattern you can see from here on. He definitely boasted about the crimes that he committed. Yes. Okay, by the time he was 16, he had essayed up to 13 young boys, and his behavior was only getting worse. His father remarried and had other children, so he had step siblings. I couldn't find like how close or not he was to those step siblings, or even how many they really were. Couldn't find that. There wasn't much information on that. But later we see that he was rearrested while staying with one of his half-sisters. So I guess he did have a relationship with at least her. We don't know, maybe with the dad and everyone. I don't know. In 1980, when he was 17, he stole guns from a neighbor's house and then abducted a 14-year-old and essayed him. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison and then only served 14. He was paroled under the condition that he would not engage in any interaction with minors. Oh man, when they get let out on good behavior way too early and then commit violent crimes right after that. I mean, it just makes me sick, man. Wow. Yeah, they should have stopped him ages ago. So here and there, I put that little emoji with the handcuffs just so that you can see as well how many times this guy was arrested and let go. Arrested, let go. Ooh, good behavior. Let go. I'm like, hello, this is terrible. Yeah, and this dude was immensely proud of his crimes. Exactly, Bill. I promise. Oh, gosh. Okay, so in 1996, in 1980, 14 years, 1994, he's released. So in 1996, he was arrested for marijuana use and released on parole. While on parole, he allegedly murdered Samia White and her half-sister, Carmen Cubias, in Seattle. I get into why I say allegedly now. Samia and Carmen were last seen on July 6, 1996, when they left the Crest Motel on Aurora Avenue, Seattle, to buy cigarettes. Yes, they were very young. Naughty little girls buying cigarettes, but still, that doesn't mean, some people point out, oh my word, they were being so naughty, but it's not their fault that they got murdered, you know what I mean? Wow, this predator was just, it's interesting too that he was waiting there, but also that he attacked girls sometimes. That's why they also say allegedly, because his MO was definitely to focus on boys. So this is strange. The remains were discovered on February 10th, 1998. I mean, it's like almost 2 years later, near Northeast 195th Street and 120th Avenue, Northeast in the North Creek area of Bothell or Bothell, Washington. How do we say it, guys? Bothell? Washington. Wow, 2 years of agony. Not knowing. Also, Bianca says SA does not get punished as harsh as it should, and wait till you see the blogs that this guy wrote. This serial killer had a blog, And he complained about how harshly these sickos get punished. I mean, I will show you, so make sure you stick around. Also, while you're here, please hit the thumbs up so that, gets into the algorithm, and lets other Grizzlies know sometimes people don't get their notifications and things. So if you do that, sometimes it does help to just boost it a bit. In 2005, Joseph described murdering the girls to investigators, even though he didn't give a full confession. However, you see, Shasta Groene, who he abducted in 2005, said that he told her about murdering those specific sisters, beating or bludgeoning them to death, as well as Anthony Martinez. They could not confirm. They found their skeletal remains. Of course, it was almost 2 years later, so they couldn't confirm if they were essayed or not. That I'd be, I know it sounds weird to say interested in knowing, but just based on his MO. For the interest of MO, I'd be interested if he did that, But with Shasta, he did, wow, all these words. He did molest her. So, and apparently did essay her. I know he essayed Dylan, her brother, but it does seem like it was boys and girls. Like, wow, this guy. In 1997, he murdered Anthony Martinez, age 10, in Riverside County, California. We're going to get more into that in a moment. Both cases went cold and were only officially connected to Joseph Duncan after he murdered the Groni family and once abducted Shasta Groene was rescued. So that took a long time for those families to get justice, like a really long time. And not only 2005, you'll see now when we go into a little bit of a deeper dive of his trials and, all the appeals and the sentencing, how long it actually took for them to get justice. Yes. The Lorax says, I also watched the People Magazine Investigates episode on the Groni case because of you. Thank you so much for highlighting this case. Oh, it's a pleasure. All right. So, yes, so the case has been cold. Shasta's recollection of events helped the police to find her brother's remains, right? And also helped to get Joseph talking. So that helped to, of course, charge him and hold him. And then they found out all these other things. On April 4th, 1997, so now we're getting back into this Anthony Michael case, 10-year-old Anthony Michael Martinez was playing with his friends in the front yard of his home in Beaumont, California, when a man approached them and asked if they could help him find his missing cat. That typo makes a real difference. Not his missing car, his missing cat, okay? So imagine approaching, there were like 4 or 5 boys playing outside in the yard, like, could you maybe help me? The boys actually had a bad feeling and refused to help him. So he then grabbed Anthony at knife point and then threw him into his car and sped away. So, of course, the kids kind of described what they remembered about the car and what he looked like, which helped to make some composite sketches. But it didn't initially help to catch him, right? So Anthony's body was found 2 weeks later in Indio, California, nude and partially decomposed. He had been bound with duct tape and essayed at age 10. It's believed that he murdered additional victims in 1997. On March 31st, 1997, he violated his parole again by stealing his girlfriend's car. So operative word, they're girlfriends. Oh, so he had girlfriends. I don't talk too much about his dating life or if he maintained a normal life, but he kind of did. He had friends. He had girlfriends. He even had jobs in between all this. Wow. So he was arrested on August 27th, 1997 at his half-sister's house in Kansas City, Missouri, and then returned to prison. Again, you can see the handcuffs are good. So here you can see his resume, current objective. He's got his email there, joseph.duncan@ndsu.edu. Numbers, addresses, and all this. And then he says, I'm currently working full-time while I complete academic objectives, expecting to graduate with a 3.3 GPA. Yeah, BS. BS, a degree in BS. Okay, BS in computer science this coming spring, May 2005. Upon graduation, I will seek a position that will take advantage of my skills, experience, and education while enhancing my already considerable repertoire. Can you believe this guy? While enhancing my already considerable repertoire. Oh, you mean your criminal record? Like you hardly did a thing. You mean when you didn't finish high school and you had a huge criminal record and essayed a whole bunch of people in and out of prison? Okay, already considerable repertoire. I hope to relocate to a more southern state, possibly the Kansas City region. My word, experience. He says 2002 current software developer. I mean, really? Okay, developing intranet-based industrial control software for IR Bobcat, specializing in leading-edge advanced, uh, I suppose that's JavaScript programming, working together with ASP, Java applets, and VBNet to connect with a Rockwell Software's RS View application for PLC data access and control. Also engaged in numerous similarly leading-edge software development projects using VBS, VB6, and C#. I'm going to say I highly doubt it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I highly doubt it, but okay. Imagine if he was like some kind of computer buffin. Damn, I mean, Mr. Grizzly's a coder and he codes in C# and learning all those languages. I know there's lots of coders that learn lots of languages in code, but even just learning one, I gave it a bash 4 times. I find C# like, oh my word. Takes a lot of patience. Okay, so 2001 current research developer, North Dakota State University Computer Science Department, developing internet-based virtual reality educational software with WWIC, responsible for legacy role-based learning project, engaged in research and development as part of a 6-member team, programming in Java and Lambda, MO, MUD. Damn, like, okay, and then 2000 to 2002 as well, overlapping, full-time student, North Dakota State University Computer Science Department, chose NDSU for its fully accredited CS program, opting specifically for the Bachelor's of Science for its more technically oriented coursework. Also worked part-time during this period doing telephone research to develop interpersonal skills and demonstrate excellent work ethics. Wow. So they say Duncan was described as an excellent student at NDSU who was close to earning a computer science degree when he abruptly left Fargo in spring of 2005 after posting bail on the Becker County charges and before committing the murders in Idaho. This reminds me of just a little bit, tiny little pinch of Ted Bundy, right? Just a little, just, lawyer Ted Bundy. He was just like Ted Bundy was very smart though, but he was like, I will be, a lawyer, and he representing himself and just very, very arrogant, right? Yes, Edmund Kemper was an intelligent serial killer. And did you guys know that Jeffrey Dahmer had, I can't remember if it's exactly the same or very similar, very close, IQ to Edmund Kemper as well. Don't worry, Ricky. I'm sure the school is not the problem. This guy is just a liar. Yeah, Ted Bundy vibes. The ultimate narcissist representing yourself. And literally, what scares me is like, I'm on LinkedIn quite a bit, having a look around. They always like, I post things on there and connect with people there. And you just like, imagine seeing this extraordinary repertoire, but like this guy is nothing like that. I know a lot of people would lie on these CVs, but I mean, this is the ultimate example of that. I'm like, wow. I mean, he sounds excellent on that CV, but if you really just did a background check, you'll be like, wait, what? Now, in July 2005, they say, and everywhere I look, they say, true crime bloggers. Why can't we credit them? I wish we could give them a shout out. Who the heck are they? Please let me know if you guys find it. But in July 2005, true crime bloggers who looked at cold cases found that the composite sketch of the unidentified man looked a lot like Joseph Duncan, and the vehicle he drove was similar to the one described by the boys who saw him take Anthony. Then the case was relooked at, the FBI got re-involved, and the partial fingerprint, which was found in the duct tape on Anthony Martinez, was actually then matched to Joseph Duncan, and the cold case was solved. I again got goosebumps because I'm like, whoa, like true crime bloggers, they were just digging around, which means all of us, right, on social media, content creators, bloggers, podcasters, writers, YouTubers, whatever. It does help sometimes, to dig a little, to keep the pressure on and to say, hey, but this actually looks like this and this. Never feel like what you do is too small. It could really help, even just to spread information. So this was amazing. So the cold case was solved. In 2005, Joseph Duncan told the police that this murder was revenge against society for sending him back to jail. Oh, wow. Joseph was arrested and sent to prison between 1997 and July 14, 2000 for violating his parole conditions. Then, on July 14th, he was released from prison again for good behavior, and then moved to Fargo in North Dakota. Wow. Could Joseph Duncan have been caught earlier? I really think so. Also, if he could have just served his time in prison. Wow. Yes, Ed Kemper's was. Jeffrey Dahmer's was also, I believe, 145. Yeah, guard behavior. Okay. We continue on. I got out and I got even, but I did not get caught. So I got out even again and again, did not get caught. I got even twice, actually more. You see? It got those Ted Bundy vibes. Ted Bundy also escaped multiple times. Well, Ted Bundy literally escaped. This guy was released. In March 2005, Joseph was charged with, am I allowed to say that word on YouTube? Oh man, things could get like flagged here. Was charged with molesting 2 young boys at a playground in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. A Becker County judge set his bail at $15,000, which a businessman who Joseph had become acquainted with helped post bail for. However, even this gesture was ignored by Joseph. So even though a friend was like, "Don't worry, buddy, I got you, I'll bail you out," he rather skipped bail and went on the run. Nice, right? Nice. Oh my word. All right, so part 1 was all about the Groni murders, but here's just a recap. On May 15, 2005, Joseph Duncan entered the Groni home in Wolf Lodge, Idaho, after stalking the property with night vision goggles for a few days. He murdered Brenda Groni, Mark McKenzie, and Slade Groni, taking Shasta and Dylan Groene with him. Hold on. Sorry, just to clear my throat. He kept them in a cabin at a campsite near Lolo National Forest, near St. Regis, Montana. Both were essayed and abused. He inflicted the most violence on Dylan. He also had a camcorder, which he used to document his crimes, which quite a few serial killers do, if not all. He murdered Dylan in front of Shasta and then intended to kill her too. But when she called him by his nickname, Jet, he warmed up to her and felt that she cared about him. So if you missed that whole deep dive on that, please watch part 1. On June 1st, 2005, a federal warrant for his arrest was issued. Yes. I'm saying yes. Sorry, I say yes, but Joseph Duncan should have been locked up for life in an 1800s-style lunatic asylum. So the one thing that I didn't mention in part 1 was that Joseph Duncan forced Shasta and Dylan to write a letter to their dad. And so she described it as they were like crying, they're distraught, then they're like, okay, they'll write the letter. So they said, I think Shasta wrote it, "Dear Dad, I miss you very much. And me and Dylan know what happened to Mom, Mark, and Slade." So yes, Shasta wrote it. "And we both feel very sorry for them. And we both miss you, Jesse and Vance, and we might see you guys again." And then this sicko didn't even send the letter. It was just to taunt them. Like, why don't you write a letter and then I'll send it to them, okay? And then he didn't send it. Also, another update from part 1 is that Shasta's dad, the one that had the throat cancer, he survived that and then he had this device. He actually did die in 2019. Someone mentioned in chat that he's no longer with us. I wasn't too sure. I hadn't found that yet. But yes, she has lost her dad, which is very sad. So I think her only surviving family member now is Jesse. Yes. Wow. I'm looking at Emmy's comment there. There are stories now of adults who are connecting the dots and recall seeing a man in the yards with green eyes after April. Some started reaching out to help with the timeline of his whereabouts. Wow, yeah, that's the thing. Goodness. Law enforcement was blaming the dad at first? That's horrible. What? He wasn't even living in that house. Okay. On July 2nd, 2005, Joseph had taken Shasta to a Denny's on the way to take her to meet his mother, because when she said, "Please don't jet," he said, why would you call me that? Like, you must really care about me. Let me take you to meet my mother. Wow. Anyway, so he was arrested and she was rescued. Again, part 1 has got all those details. The jury during his trial had to work through mountains of horrific, traumatizing evidence and were offered counseling. He was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of the Groene family and 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping. His trial was set to start on January 17, 2006, but was pushed back to October 26th. He accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to all charges against him. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for these charges while waiting to face the pending charges. So that's what they initially could confirm his charges were, and then there were still all these other pending charges. Lorex, welcome to membership as well. I hope you enjoy all the content. Please check out the members only playlist. There's lots of stuff there for you. On January 18, 2007, he was indicted on 10 counts of federal kidnapping, kidnapping resulting in death, aggravated essay of a minor, and sexual exploitation of a child resulting in death. Yes. On the same day, he was charged with the murder of Anthony Martinez. So do you see how long that took? He also faced charges for his crimes relating to illegal firearm possession and grand theft auto. On December 3rd, 2007, he pleaded guilty to all charges. And then on August 27th, 2008, the judge sentenced him with 3 death sentences, which were charges relating to the murder of Dylan Groene, all 3. Yes. So on November 3rd, then he received 3 additional life sentences for charges relating to the abduction and essay of Shasta Groene and Dylan Groene. On January 24th, 2009, Joseph was extradited to California for the Anthony Martinez charges. And on March 15th, 2011, he pleaded guilty to murdering him. So see, the boastful dude came out here again. I'll be on screen again in a moment. As part of a plea deal, he received a life sentence with no possibility of parole or the right to make an appeal. The Martinez family were happy with this as they desperately wanted closure. So they were not going to seek the death penalty. They were just like, yes, finally, and they got closure. Okay, well, let me first just show you this like this. The Fifth Nail, so you can see a Joseph Edward Duncan III, The Fifth Nail, Volume 1. This is literally available on Amazon. Now I'm curious. Yes, I wish he would live 5,000 years to serve all the sentences. Me too. Yes, truly a monster. The jury members were offered counseling. That is saying something. Imagine it. Now, this Fifth Nail, Joseph had a website called The Fifth Nail, which he based on the theory that Jesus Christ was sacrificed with a 5th nail that the Romans had taken away and hidden. Now, this whole theory was very important to him. Interesting. On this blog, he documented his daily life as an SO, as an S offender. Dude, like Dear Diary, basically. His daily life is what they say as an offender. He described being essayed as a child and justified his own behavior, saying that he was not a pedo. So he says, on this blog he describes, he knows what those are, but he's not one of those. Authorities said that his blog alluded to him murdering more people than they knew about. Based on his profile, I wouldn't really doubt it at all. Okay. After his arrest on July 2nd, 2005, he corresponded via email with approximately 6 friends as well as a girlfriend. Joseph wrote letters to an unknown person, one of these friends, who called himself Silenced. And then a blog called Joseph E. Duncan III. This is what's called a blog called Joseph E. Duncan III returns to the web from federal death row to expose the meaning of the 5th nail, was supposedly maintained by this friend of his. Now, the nickname Jet is not as creative as one might think, because I had to deep dive. Why? Why does he call himself Jet? But yes, it's because Joseph Edward III. So sometimes it's double T, sometimes it's one T, because the third, but Jet. There you go. Yes. Don't read it if you're not prepared. Have you read it? Oh my word. Wow. First time being a member of any YouTube channel, but really honored that I'm a Grizzly. Oh my word. That is so cool. I'm so glad that you're a member. Thank you for being one. I think my first membership ever is on the Monsters Under Our Bed. Yes. First and only membership right now. Okay. So, wow, Jet. Joseph Edward III. And we will look at his little blog now. A little bit. Not the whole thing, don't worry, but there's like a little snippet I found. Now, how did he die? In October 2020, Joseph underwent brain surgery after being diagnosed with, wow, what a word, a glioblastoma, stage 5 brain cancer. He declined treatment, refusing chemotherapy or radiation therapy. I believe it's so that he could have full control and have the last laugh of, yep, you see, I died the natural way. I wasn't put to death. Wow. Wow. In November 2020, medical staff gave him 6 to 12 months to live, and he died on March 28, 2021, at the age of 58 at the United States Penitentiary in, stand by, I've got to, hold on, in Terre Haute, Indiana. The whole day I'm like, in what now? Terre Haute, Indiana. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, that sucks. Between 1994 and 1997 and 2000 and 2005, when he was out of prison, he has been implicated in a number of other crimes. Although he was cleared as a suspect in some cases, authorities in California and Washington had enough evidence to believe that Duncan had committed unsolved murders in their jurisdictions. Here are some examples. March 31st, 1997, Oak Harbor, Washington, Deborah Palmer, age 7, disappeared on March 27. July 3rd, 2004, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, molested a 6-year-old boy and attempted to do the same to his friend. So they don't know that it's him, but based on what the boys said, it would match the sketches. And then in 2005, stalking an unnamed girl, her friend, and her sister, all age 5 to 11. Yes. Oh, it means highland, I think. Let's say it one more time. Terre Haute. Okay. The world will know who I really was and what I really did. I am scared, alone, and confused, and my reaction is to strike out toward the perceived source of my misery, society. My intent is to harm society as much as I can, then die. That was his quote. Yeah, Joseph Edward Duncan III. He is disgusting, Claire. Yes. Terre Haute. So that is my little presentation. Now, just as a little break, a break in the energy, let's do some map time, and then we'll look at his blog. How about that? Okay. Okay, so what you see here, the reason I wanted to just show you on the map is, again, I don't want to give this guy too much credit. Not that I find Bundy credit, but I think he's a little bit of like a wannabe Bundy. And sometimes I wonder if he was inspired by Bundy at all. Timeline would sort of match up that it could be. All right. Cleaning out a garage while I listen. Very nice. Oh my word, Shannon Brown, welcome to your first live. It's so nice to see people when you chat. Sometimes people say, my first time chatting. That's also nice. So for all you lurkers, say something. I want the map time song as my ringtone. Okay. Yeah, look how he got around. So Fort Bragg, that's where, Fort Bragg, North Carolina is where he was born. Then his dad moved him all across the country to Tacoma, Washington. Then, for a time, he lived after getting out of prison, because he committed some crimes there, remember? Then he lived all around Seattle, Washington, where he committed more crimes. Then he went down south to, Riverside, California. Okay, wait, so Seattle, Washington. Then he went to Riverside, California. Yep, he went down here to Riverside, California. Then, as he sort of like moved down here, he went to Beaumont, California, which is where he abducted and murdered 10-year-old Anthony Martinez. After that, he went to Kansas City, Missouri. That's where they found him staying with his half-sister after violating parole. It's like a whole round trip. Look at that. Then he went to Fargo, North Dakota. So this is when he was Mr. Computer Engineer, So this is over the years. So it's not like bouncing around in a week. It's like over all these years that we just discussed, right? I'm just showing you like how countrywide he went. And then after that, he went to Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, which again is like right there. Then Wolf Lodge, Idaho, back this way, which is where he abducted Shasta and Dylan after murdering their family. And then finally, his final resting place, not that we want him to rest, was USP Terre Haute. Did I say it right again? Terre Haute. Yeah, so just look at it, like on the map. Holy moly, this guy went around. Like at one point, so it's first from here to Tacoma, then down, then this way, Kansas City, and then back up. That was like perfect loop, my word. Wow. So yes, reminds me of Keys, who had killed kids throughout the country. Yeah. Again, I don't think this guy was that clever, but I see what you mean, because I don't think he had kill kids everywhere, but it does look hectic on this map, right? Oh my word. Okay, so I'm going to make myself bigger again, and then we'll take this off. All right, now we're back on the road. Back on the road, everyone. So let me just quickly close some of these things. And I guess I could close my map time. Wait, let's say it again one more time. Terre Haute. Thanks, Google. Now let's look at this. Okay, so first I wanted to show you this. I found him on findagrave.com. Really great website as well. Yes, that we know of. Exactly. That we know of. My word. So Joseph Edward Duncan III, we know when he's born and when he died. Burial, well, he was cremated. Okay. They say the boogeyman, an American convicted serial killer and CM, serial rapist, arsonist, serial killer, pedo, hebeophile, even that other word I said earlier on my presentation, the phebo, family annihilator, stalker, abductor. But now what I wanted to show you here is normally these types of sites, of course, they have lovely messages for people and whoa, here he does not have that, they say. So they buy these flowers, right? And they say, you were a sick, sick man. I can't say I feel any sadness or remorse that you're gone. Hopefully the Groni family get to spit in your face for all of eternity. Whoa. Good job. Go buy some flowers there and say things. Would have enjoyed nothing more than being allowed 10 minutes access to you in your cell. That and a 14-inch length of lead pipe. All the time I'd needed. It would have been just like Christmas. Oh, my. Expressing that rage in a healthy way right here. Okay, and then here, if you look on Amazon, you see this? How much is it? The Kindle is $7.74. The paperback's $15. The Fifth Nail, The Journals of Joseph Edward Duncan III, Volume 1. I mean, damn, look at all the volumes. 2, 3, 4. I think there's, volume 1, 2, 3. There's 3 volumes. You could buy them all for a total price of $46. Oh my gosh. And here he said, for over a decade, convicted serial killer Joseph Edward Duncan III posted his journals to a blog from his cell on death row. The blog was called The Fifth Nail, named after the legend of a gypsy who forged a fifth nail for the crucifixion of Christ, one that would have pierced his heart. In his journals, Duncan relates previously unknown details of his crimes, his thoughts on society, and the influences in his life that caused him to become a killer, and chronicles his life in prison. These journals have now been curated and presented for the first time as 4 volumes in complete chronological order. That must have been a heckload of work, huh? Wow. Yes, Rob. I really wonder as well where the profits go, but I think these profits, okay, but it says by Joseph Duncan. It's probably going to go to this guy because this is self-published from what I can see. Yep. Let's open it quickly. Ooh. Let's just see 2010 to 2011 copyrighted material. No, it's self-published. So the thing is that this editor is probably going to, this guy, maybe a friend, I don't know, is probably going to get the profits. Yeah, this guy's insane. And then we can look here. These are the, listen, StreamYard. This advert is like, would you like to use StreamYard? I'm already using it. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Steph H, to membership. It's lovely to have you here. Please do check out the membership playlist. If you go home, videos playlist, it's there so that you can access that. And remember, all members, because a lot of you joined yesterday, please remember to check the community tab as well, because that's where you get your updates. YouTube is still in beta mode, as they call it, for that. Oh my word. I hope that one day you guys can just get easy notifications. But yeah, you got to check the community tab, okay? Yeah, that sketch looked nothing like him. And that's the thing with sketches, isn't it? Sketches are kind of useless, actually. Anyway, so here they say editor's note, story published on the 8th of the 4th, 2005. Wow. For the past year and a half, okay, then, Joseph Edward Duncan maintained an internet blog in which he spoke out angrily against society's treatment of SOs, you see, and contemplated taking his own life. Are they so unfair to SOs? What? In it, Duncan described how he was molested so often as a child that he thought it was normal. If you want to help the victims, we have to help the offenders and recognize that they are victims too, he wrote in his internet journal. We must see that they are not inherently bad or evil. They are confused and lost, making decisions based on a badly distorted view of reality. Right, okay. Duncan 42 was born in New Orleans. No, he wasn't. He was not born in New Orleans, but here they say New Orleans, okay. The second youngest of 5 children, according to parole records posted on the website, the Spokesman Review, okay, in Spokane, Washington. The family settled in Tacoma, Washington, where he got into trouble at school and escaped his hell by daydreaming and smoking marijuana. When he was a teenager, Duncan's father and mother divorced after a tumultuous marriage that included fighting, incest, and infidelity. What? Oh, wow. You see? We're diving a little deeper now. When Duncan was 16, he essayed a 14-year-old boy at gunpoint. He stole the gun after breaking into a neighbor's home. He told officials he essayed about 13 other boys according to a 1980 mental health evaluation. So I know we've just gone over this, but there's more details in this, right? Deeper dive. This position of power over children has developed into a very powerful and compulsive pattern, wrote SO program officials at Western State Hospital near Tacoma, who said that Duncan met the definition of a sexual psychopath. And that I think we can all agree with, right? Yeah, he's full of it, a liar and a manipulator. Duncan was removed from the program after 22 months for not being amenable to treatment. Yeah, untreatable, pretty much. The record said he secretly left the grounds, peeped in windows, obviously, and publicly and privately masturbated to rape fantasies. Wow, I just said the R word just like that, but okay, to SA fantasies. Secretly left the grounds, peeped in windows. A voyeur as well. In 1982, he was sent to prison to carry out the remainder of a 20-year sentence. He was released on parole in 1994 after he was found with marijuana and being in possession of a firearm in 1996. Additional parole conditions were imposed. Okay, and I'm just going to skip forward because I want to see what he says, right? Hold on. I will link this afterwards. So here, on his blog, he complained that SOs are routinely evicted, denied services, and harassed because of the community notifications. Wow, yeah, this is why you keep him locked up. Gosh. He repeatedly railed against the police officers who regularly paid him visits at his home. In recent months, he contemplated unaliving himself and wrote about seeking God's help. It's a battle between me and my demons, he wrote. While he was in prison, he dreamed of getting even, he said. Yeah, just like Gacy. I got out and I got even, but did not get caught. So I got even again and again, did not get caught. So I figured, well, I got even twice, actually more. But that's well, it probably means that's here nor there. That's neither here nor there. My intent is to harm society as much as I can and then die. These are excerpts from one of the final entries in an online journal maintained by Joseph Edward III in 2004 and 2005. He called the journal Blogging the Fifth Nail, a reference to the nail that he says was supposedly crafted but never used to pierce Jesus' heart during the crucifixion. Happy Joe, or Jet, is a reference to himself. So he's even got Happy Joe as a nickname there. A reference to himself, trying to get along in society. This excerpt, which includes many spelling and grammatical errors, was dated May 11th, 2005, 4 or 5 days before the killings and kidnappings in Idaho. As far as letting God take care of the demons, too late. They've locked up the Happy Joe person in the same dungeon that Happy Joe kept them in for so many years. Now they are loose, and I'm very afraid. I have been asking God to help defeat the demons. In fact, last night I was on my knees begging him, crying out loud to him to help me. He didn't answer. Again, the problem is I'm losing my religion. And in my current situation, I figure I'm under a lot of stress. And there are perfectly natural human mechanisms that account for all religious experiences. The demons, if that's what they or it are or is, I use the term for mere convenience. Yes, we gather. that he uses all these terms for convenience. He's just trying to convince others, right? Have convinced me that I should at least question my religious beliefs, and that is how they got the key to the dungeon and they trapped me inside. To be more specific, I am scared, alone, and confused, and my reaction is to strike out toward the perceived source of my misery, society. My intent is to harm society as much as I can and then die. As for the Happy Joe jet, well, he was just a dream. The boogeyman was alive and happy long before Happy Joe. I was in prison for over 18 years since the age of 17. As an adult, all I knew was the oppression of incarceration. It's like literally his fault. He's like the oppression of incarceration. All those years, I dreamed of getting out and getting even. Instead, I got out and I got even, did not get caught, got even again. Wow, they say this quote a lot. So I figured, well, I got even twice, actually more, but that's neither here nor there. Even if I'm the only one who knows, so now what? Well, that was when the Happy Joe dream started. I met a bunch of really great people, the kind of people I didn't even know existed, but here they were, bunches of them, my neighbors, my landlords, my professors, my co-workers, and they were all good people who were willing to give me a chance despite my past. They were willing to accept me and be my friend, something that was new for me, having been betrayed by many friends and even my own family. So I tried to make it work, but the problem was those demons, the ones who got even for me. They kept reminding me that if my new friends knew about them and what I, had done to even, then so much for their friendship. So Happy Joe was just dreaming or pretending to be happy. Like, wow, okay, and that's that for this one. Yes, and then this one is another article, which I will pin again afterwards so you can read the whole thing if you want to. Yeah, he blames everyone else. Narcissist. Why put more negativity into the world? It says a lot that he only wanted to hurt people. Yes. Yeah, I think the editor is going to get it because it's self-published books. So I think the profits of the books, even though, believe me, self-publishing profits are not very much. Okay. I published 55 books, self-published, and no, cannot even survive 5 days a month on what I make there. So yeah. I don't, but still, even if it's $50 a month they make or 100 or whatever he makes from that, maybe we still want to know where's it going. But I think it would go to the person who put the book together, which I think was the editor listed there. Yes. Okay. So a wonderful smokescreen. This is the final bit that I'm going to read to you here. By the time Duncan came to Fargo in summer of 2000, he'd already gotten away with kidnapping, essaying, and killing 3 children, unbeknownst to Fargo police or any other law enforcement department. He since confessed to murdering 2 half-sisters, aged 9 and 11, near Seattle in 1996, crimes for which he was never charged, and to killing an 11-year-old California boy in 1997, for which he was convicted in 2011 while he was 10. In his blog, he recalled feeling a temptation when he once found himself alone with a young boy in a restroom at a ski hill not far from Fargo. Duncan said the predator in him awakened when their eyes met, and the boy flinched like an animal does when it's afraid. Well, yeah. And then, it wasn't the boy's appearance, age, or circumstances that aroused me. It was his fear, and his fear alone. As I washed my hands, I metaphorically scratched the predator inside of me behind the ears and thought to it, "Not yet, my friend, not yet. Go back to sleep," he writes. Some of Duncan's Fargo acquaintances say they still can't believe that person is the same good guy they once knew. Joe McCleary of Harwood, ND, worked with Duncan for at least 6 months at a now-defunct market research company. "I give people the benefit of the doubt, maybe to a fault," said said McCleary, who was the company company receptionist and talked with Duncan often. She said Duncan opened up to her about his troubled childhood, sexual orientation, and criminal past, and something he had once told her haunts her to this day. He said, "I like who I am now, but I have another person in me that I don't like, that's evil, and if that comes out, I just want them to kill me." McCleary recalls Duncan saying. A former landlord says he's still totally surprised by Duncan's split personality. "He's an ideal renter for us," said Jeff Ware, who, along with his partner, still owns and rents the property at 810 7th Street, 7th Street North in Fargo, Duncan's last permanent address. Duncan had lived there for about a month when he told Ware just before the community notification meeting that he was a level 3 SO. Ware said he decided to give his tenant a second chance after Duncan explained the reason for his SO status, that he was 16 and dumb and had anger issues in 1980 when he forced sex on a 14-year-old boy. Yeah, okay. Duncan had shown the boy a gun, which he said was unloaded. Larry Boomgarden, look at that surname, that's cool, Boomgarden, a former Minnesota Corrections Department agent assigned to check in on Duncan after the Becker County charges were filed, found him to be very compliant, typical of a SO, he said. He came across as very docile, which was a wonderful smokescreen, said Boomgarden. So there's a lot still. There's a lot. You see this? There's a lot, which will take forever to read to you. So you know what I'm going to do, which is what I promised? I'm going to pin it right after this episode, okay? I'm going to pin these 2 articles because they are very, very interesting for those who are interested in reading it. He had evil eyes. He sure did. Oh, yes. Well, I hope that you guys enjoy today's coverage. Let me just see if there's anything I missed. I just want to see. Nope, that's pretty much it. You guys voted on my community tab. I hope you voted. I hope you all voted. But you guys voted for this the weekly crime catch-up to be on Sundays. I thought it's going to be on Fridays, but it's going to be on Sundays, okay? So the next live stream will be on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then after that, Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern again for Missing Person Monday. Great presentation. What's the next case? Well, all I'm thinking of right now, I kind of take it week by week and day by day. Tomorrow, I'm very excited to be getting out into the city and filming a whole bunch of stuff. I can't wait to film all that. And I usually put all that kind of stuff on Patreon if you guys are interested. Patreon.com/Grizzly True Crime. We've got about 200-ish, 205 Grizzlies there. Which is very exciting as well. It's just another platform to support me, and I definitely prefer it over the YouTube membership, but I love both. Thank you so much for supporting me. But Patreon takes a much smaller cut than YouTube. YouTube takes like a gigantic cut of anything that gets generated here. So I put a lot of like extra perks, which is scripts and art. I just recently shared a watercolor art piece of Dexter. So I put scripts and art and podcast episodes exclusively over there, as well as videos when I go out and about and pet some sheep or visit some castles or walk around the canals in the Netherlands, in Utrecht or wherever. So yes, so if you guys want to see that, that's all on Patreon. Here and there, I put 1 or 2 things on YouTube membership here, but most of the perks are there. Okay. Yeah, fun, says Jenny's child. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erin. Erin says, thank you so much for the deep dive. I appreciate all your hard work. Thank you. I definitely did work my butt off. I was very tired today. I was very tired and pushing through. I had a Red Bull. Mr. Grizzly's like, oh, you're hitting the Red Bull now. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need that. Going to need that for later because I think I streamed almost every day this week. And streaming is actually kind of tiring. You know why? Because I'm so excited. Like right now, I'm like so excited that I streamed. I was here with you guys. It takes a good hour or 2 to come down, to just relax after this. I'm like so happy to see you guys. I mean, it's midnight now here, so my bedtime's like 2 o'clock or something. Damn, thank you so much, Chris. The monsters in our bed. Thank you for your $5 super sticker. That is so sweet. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing all the new emojis, the butterflies and things. I will go have a look in the membership area. If the gifted memberships had any impact on being able to upload some more emojis, then I know Saleo was saying, where's the bear paw? So I can add that and let me know in the comments or on one of the community posts or something, or email me and let me know if there's any other emojis that you specifically want. This is my email address, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Remember to send me some missing persons cases if you want me to cover them. There are already 2 that I've got lined up for Monday, which of course I deep dive as well. Thank you so much, Jules. Thank you so much. So can't help those deep dives. I can't help those deep dives. Your pick. What are we talking about? Oh, you want my pick? You You want to pick on me? I always find that so like weird. I could put a pick on me, but that was so weird to see. There I am in the emojis. We've got Brian Enton, we've got Dexter, we got Fury. Of course, we can make a Hannah one as well. We need a hit it. Isn't there a hit it? There is one. It says DNA. But hit it. Okay. Hit it. You guys want a Gisela emoji? You remember this one? At some stage we had this one. A what? Yes, and we love your community too, Chris, very, very much. The monsters under our bed and all the Grizzlies as well. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Again, I don't like saying goodbye. Chris and I were chatting and we have that in common. We don't like saying goodbye. He also waffles. So if you like waffle time, head on over there. You're going to get some more waffle time over there. Yes. Oh my word. Thank you so much, Jane. Will there ever be a YouTubers award? If so, you should be up for one. That would be amazing. Well, once I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll be able to apply for that YouTube play button thingy, that silver play button you see that people, once they have it, they put it behind them. I will just hold it up here and there. Very excited for that, but that's quite a way away. I'm not even halfway there yet. Also, please, one more thing, please check on my homepage. There's a whole list of upcoming live streams. Please set your notifications so that at least you know you're going to get them, because I have Missing Persons Mondays. I've got the weekly crime catch-ups, and then I've also got a Grizzly 1-year party stream, because my channel will turn 1 year old. If you go to my About page, it says my channel started in 2020, but it did not. It was just me having a channel with nothing on it. But my Grizzly True Crime channel, which was called Grizzly Books True Crime in the beginning, officially started on June 26th, 2021. And on June 28th, I uploaded my very first thing. So on June 26th, this month, we will have a 1-year anniversary stream, which is a milestone, because I will be very happy to have made it there, because there's many times where the pressure gets so much that you're like, no, I can't do this. Too much pressure. I can't do this. So I'm going to be so happy to get to the 1-year mark. And then I feel like once you get to the 1-year mark, it's much easier to just continue, Before 1 year, you're still like, I don't know. But like when I get there, that's going to be very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rainbow Bright. You've seen all the castles in the UK. That's so nice. Oh, my word. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Or if you're in Australia, happy Saturday morning to you. If you're a replay watcher, happy weekend to you, or whatever time it is for you. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to reading your comments. Remember that after this video, you can send a super thanks. Of course, the best way to support me is on PayPal. That's number one, because there's no middleman. Next is buymeacoffee.com/GiselaK. Everything's in the description box. PayPal, buy me a coffee. Okay. There's super chats, super stickers, super thanks. Those are amazing. YouTube membership. Patreon is actually number 3. Patreon. And lots of perks are there for you as well. Did I miss anything? Of course, buying some of my notebooks, my merch, things like that. There's lots of new merch as well for you, so go check it out. Bear claw emoji. Okay. Don't worry, Karen Lee. You can catch up right now with a replay. Thank you so much. Okay. So, everyone, I'm going to play my little outro now. And I will see you again soon. I'll see you on Sunday, okay?